In this video, I'm going to be unboxing and spray testing the Iwata HP.CH gravity feed airbrush. Let's get into it right now. So this is the Iwata HP.CH Highline with the MAC valve. This one runs a 0.3mm needle nozzle setup. It has a 0.24 ounce or 7mm color cup. And you can see it sprays between the fine and medium range. It's a gravity feed dual action airbrush, total control for fine detail spraying, micro air control or MAC valve for incremental control of airflow and stipple effects, H3 head system, 15 to 25 psi optimal working pressure. Go ahead and take it out of the sleeve. So in the box you have this sticker, gravity feed airbrush quick start guide. The spray test, so every airbrush is tested before it's shipped out from the factory. You get a tube of lube, you get the Iwata wrench and the airbrush, nice smooth trigger action. You've got the cutaway handle to easily clean out or dislodge any blockages. You've got the winder to stop your trigger from going all the way back. This is handy if you're just starting out and you want to make sure you don't pull all the way back on your trigger finger and potentially stuff your artwork. You've got the micro air control valve or the MAC valve, which you can wind in and wind out to adjust the flow of air. And it has a 7mm color cup or 0.24 ounces, and the lid just sits on top and you got that breather hole in there. Make sure that's always clear. And the CH has the 0.3mm needle nozzle setup. You can see how fine that is there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the air cap. I always like spraying without it. Just going to add in some pre-mixed paint. And the recommended PSI for this one is 15 to 25 PSI. Now I'm spraying at a 20 PSI range. I've got that MAC valve wound out completely and nice and smooth. You can easily shade from a distance. If you move up closer, you can get nice fine detail even with a 0.3. Remember, this is straight out of the box. I do prefer when I wear in an airbrush. I find they do work better over time. But that said, it's still super smooth. And now with that MAC valve, what you can do is just wind that in. That'll start closing off that airflow, and that'll allow you to get even finer detail, especially when you over thin your paint. So this might be a bit too thick right now. Yeah, it's not really coming out. Well, a little bit. So you can see I'm able to get nice fine dots, but I may add a bit more reducer in. Yeah, you can see the lines aren't coming out, so I'd have to turn it up a little bit. Now I'm getting a bit more flow. So this is about really tweaking your paint. You'll learn what mix works best for you. I'm just going to go ahead and add a bit more reducer just to thin that paint out a bit. Give it a bit of a shake, blast it through a couple of times, so make sure that thinner paint's flowing through, and it should perform a little bit better. I do like to run my paint a lot thinner. It also minimises your tip drying. It does mean that you'll have to coat over certain areas a lot more, but I don't mind doing that. I'd much rather it just flow smoothly. So now with that thinner mix, and that's what happens when you don't shut the paint off correctly. So what happened was when I finished painting, I just let go of the trigger. I pressed the air down, and you can see that's when you get paint just gets shot onto your surface. So always make sure that when you pull back on the trigger, return it back to the home position to avoid that. So I'm going to wind the MAC valve in a little bit to restrict that airflow, and I'll try for some fine lines again. It's not coming out yet. Get it painting first. Here we go. Bit of tip drying. It is fairly humid in the studio today, but you can see, I mean, that's just a quick tweak and that's performing nice and fine. You're still getting intermittent spray, but even with some dots, I'm able to go really fine with that brush. Even though this is a 0.3mm needle, it still can perform really well. So to fast track your learning, you can definitely check out our online airbrushing course at airbrushasylum.thinkific.com. So there you have it. The HP.CH, as you can see, performs really well from broad spray to fine detail. It's such a versatile airbrush, and if you're looking to just purchase one airbrush, then perhaps this one's for you.